Just give me a gut feel, one word. Has he got it in him still with Ferrari to win lots of races still, or is that asking too much?
No, he can win races with Ferrari. Can he win another championship? Tall order. A lot of good kids around.
Has the F1 world completely written off Lewis Hamilton too soon? Could the seven-time champion silence his critics by storming to multiple victories in Ferrari red? And why is Martin Brundle going against every Sky F1 expert who believes Hamilton's championship days are over? Today, we're diving into the bombshell prediction that has divided the paddock. While most pundits have crowned Lando Norris as champion in waiting, Martin Brundle has made a stunning forecast about Hamilton's Ferrari debut that nobody saw coming.
It would be electric to see Hamilton in a Ferrari, but what did Lewis say to us? I love the color red. Red is passion. I've got red in my crash helmet. I would love to be dressed in red to an extent, but
I'm about to reveal why one of F1's most respected voices believes Hamilton will prove the doubters wrong in spectacular fashion, despite being outperformed 19-5 in qualifying by George Russell last season. Stay with me as we unpack this controversial take that has the entire F1 community buzzing. In a statement that sent shockwaves through the F1 community, Sky F1 commentator and former F1 driver Martin Brundle has gone completely against the grain with his prediction for 2025. While his colleagues have all but dismissed Hamilton's chances, Brundle declared, "My bold prediction for this season is that Lewis Hamilton will win more than one race in a Ferrari. This isn't just any prediction. This is about the most successful driver in modern F1 history, making the most dramatic team switch since his Mercedes bombshell back in 2013. Hamilton arrives at Maranello with the weight of Ferrari's passionate fanbase on his shoulders, and with serious questions to answer after his disappointing 2024 campaign. The numbers don't lie. Hamilton makes this Ferrari move with significant doubters to silence. In 2024, he suffered comprehensive defeat to former Mercedes teammate George Russell in both race and qualifying head-to-heads. The qualifying statistics are particularly alarming. Russell dominated 19-5 across the season, raising serious questions about Hamilton's single-lap pace as he enters his 19th F1 season.
And I also think linking up with Fred Vasseur is a brilliant way to go full circle,
right?
Because Fred was his team boss in Formula 3 and GP2, and I believe fervently created the most potent version of Lewis Hamilton that has ever existed. And I include the seven-time Formula 1 world champion version of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
When he was at McLaren, he was always kind of like, they were trying to restrict him, pigeonhole him into this
Fit
thing.
in a box.
Even at Mercedes, he was never that free.
Okay.
And now he is Sir Lewis Hamilton, the greatest of all time. If he can help Lewis to untap that version of himself again, it's going to be the greatest comeback.
Yeah.
You imagine it, 26 in that Ferrari. I honestly don't think there's a single person that watches Formula 1 who doesn't think that Lewis is worthy of an 8th title and how great it would be to have Lewis win an 8th world championship. And if he does it at Ferrari with Fred, the whole thing coming together, I think it would be absolutely
epic.
At 40 years old, many believe Hamilton's best days are behind him. Not a single Sky F1 analyst picked him to win that record-breaking 8th world title in 2025. Not one. This despite Hamilton's unrivaled experience with 105 race victories and 7 world championships.
So, will I be surprised if it's a hardcore Lewis Hamilton Drivers' Championship, a hardcore Red Bull Constructors' Championship with Sergio Perez finishing P3? Let me rephrase that. That will not surprise me if Sergio Perez is P2 or P3 in the Constructors' Championship next year. However, based on how I've seen, if we're making really strong predictions for next year, it would be is a non-zero possibility, and I think it'd be pretty gnarly if Lewis Hamilton still wins. Sorry, if Max Verstappen wins, Lewis Hamilton's a P2, and especially with Charles Leclerc, then it comes down to Charles Leclerc or Sergio Perez.
Yeah. When Sky assembled their all-star panel, including lead commentator David Croft, pit lane reporter Ted Kravitz, 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg, and 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve, the verdict was clear. Hamilton isn't expected to challenge for the title. Norris dominated the voting with 6 experts, including Hamilton's former rival Rosberg, backing the McLaren driver to secure his maiden world championship. Defending four-time champion Max Verstappen received just 2 votes, while Charles Leclerc, Hamilton's new teammate, received a single vote from Williams development driver Jamie Chadwick. In the constructors' battle, the panel's prediction was similarly decisive. McLaren is favored to beat Ferrari by a margin of 7-3, suggesting Hamilton and Leclerc might not have the machinery to challenge consistently. Ted Kravitz offered a fascinating insight into the competitive nature of the upcoming season, predicting that 8 drivers will win races in what could be an all-time classic F1 campaign. With 4 teams, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, all harboring legitimate title aspirations, 2025 could deliver one of the most unpredictable seasons in recent memory. Meanwhile, David Croft made perhaps the boldest prediction of all, tipping Oscar Piastri to win 6 or more Grands Prix, a dramatic increase from his 2 victories in 2024. This would make the Australian a serious title contender and potentially complicate Norris's championship ambitions at McLaren. Hamilton's career has been defined by his ability to adapt and overcome. When he shocked the F1 world by leaving McLaren for Mercedes in 2013, many questioned his judgment. That gamble resulted in 6 world championships and established him as one of the greatest drivers of all time.
A very different sort of qualifying session. First of all, you were on the harder tyre compared with your teammate, if you could talk about that a little bit. And also, those rather strange delays before you went out for both runs. Was that your decision or the team holding you back?
Team was holding me back.
His F1 journey began alongside double world champion Fernando Alonso at McLaren, a baptism of fire that Hamilton remarkably emerged from, tied on points with his illustrious teammate. His partnerships with Jenson Button and Nico Rosberg produced intense rivalry and spectacular on-track battles, with the Rosberg duel culminating in one of F1's most controversial title fights in 2016.
Tiedon kypärää ja koettiin nostaa paljon asioita, mitkä That's going to be turn 1.
That was turn 1.
With Valtteri Bottas, Hamilton found harmony, a partnership that yielded 4 consecutive Constructors' Championships for Mercedes. And while George Russell ultimately got the better of him in their final season together, Hamilton's ability to reinvent himself and rise to new challenges has been the hallmark of his extraordinary career. Now, he faces perhaps his greatest challenge, delivering success for F1's most storied team alongside Charles Leclerc, a hungry young talent who's firmly established as Ferrari's golden boy. Can Hamilton prove Brundle right and adapt to the Ferrari culture faster than many expect? What makes Brundle's prediction so fascinating is his intimate knowledge of Formula One. As a former driver and one of the sport's most respected commentators, Brundle has watched Hamilton's entire career unfold. He's witnessed firsthand Hamilton's ability to adapt, evolve, and silence critics. The move to Ferrari represents both enormous risk and potential reward for Hamilton. Success would cement his legacy as perhaps the most versatile driver in F1 history. Winning with 3 different teams would be unprecedented in the modern era. Failure would provide ammunition to those who believe his best days are behind him. Whether you believe Hamilton will triumph or struggle at Ferrari, one thing's certain. His debut in the famous red overalls will be one of the most watched moments in recent F1 history. Will Brundle's bold prediction come true? Or will Hamilton's Ferrari dream turn into a nightmare? For all the latest F1 news and analysis as we approach the new season, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be bringing you comprehensive coverage throughout 2025 as this fascinating story unfolds.
Lewis Hamilton has opened up about his decision to embrace a bachelor lifestyle, explaining that his focus remains entirely on his racing career as he aims to compete well into his 40s. The 7-time Formula One world champion emphasized that maintaining a single life allows him to dedicate himself fully to his craft, without the distractions that come with relationships and family commitments. Hamilton, who has often spoken about the intense physical and mental demands of the sport, believes that staying unattached gives him the flexibility and freedom needed to push his limits on and off the track. As he continues to chase records and extend his legacy in F1, the British racing icon remains committed to his passion, prioritizing his career over settling down.
Ciao, caro
Lewis Hamilton, the man who needs no introduction, has just made some revelations in a recent interview with Time magazine. The F1 icon, who turned 40 earlier this year, opened up about his personal life, his priorities, and why he believes he's unlike any other driver in the sport's history. When asked about his mindset and motivation, Lewis Hamilton made it abundantly clear that his dedication to Formula One remains unmatched. He stated, "I'm hungry, driven, don't have a wife and kids. I'm focused on one thing, and that's winning. That's my number. I'll priority." That's right, Hamilton has made it clear that his sole focus is on winning. But what about the rumors surrounding his personal life? Let's rewind a bit and unpack the story behind this statement. His statement perfectly encapsulates the relentless drive that has made Hamilton one of the most successful drivers in the history of the sport. His hunger for victory, his unwavering focus, and his singular dedication to excellence are what set him apart. Unlike many of his peers who may juggle family responsibilities alongside their careers, Hamilton has chosen to fully immerse himself in racing, leaving no room for distractions. Lewis Hamilton is no stranger to the spotlight. As the only black driver in Formula One history, he's broken barriers, shattered records, and become a global icon. But while his professional life has been an open book, his personal life has always been shrouded in mystery. Hamilton's most public relationship was with Nicole Scherzinger, the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. Their on-again, off-again romance spanned 7 years before they finally called it quits in 2016. Since then, Hamilton has been linked to several celebrities, including Rita Ora, Barbara Palvin, and even Shakira. But none of these relationships have stuck. Recently, Hamilton was spotted on a dinner date with actress Sofia Vergara, sparking rumors of a new romance. But as always, Hamilton has kept things private, leaving fans guessing. Now, in his latest interview, Hamilton has finally addressed the speculation head-on. He's made it clear that his focus is on racing, not relationships. But why? Let's hear it straight from the man himself.
He did, yeah, and that's why he said he's come. I remember speaking to you, so we had a real short chat. There was loads of other people in the line, so.
Wow,
but
amazing.
It was a very special moment.
Yeah. Now, did you drive yourself here tonight?
I'm the first and only black driver that's ever been in this sport. I'm built different. I've been through a lot. I've had my own journey. From his humble beginnings in Stevenage to becoming a 7-time world champion, he's faced countless challenges and setbacks. And now, as he prepares for a new chapter with Ferrari, he's determined to prove that age is just a number.
Who has won the hearts of millions all over the globe and is rightfully hailed as the best racing driver in the world.
Speaking of Ferrari, let's discuss Hamilton's recent performance during F1 testing in Bahrain. The Stevenage-born racer topped the timesheets on day 2, finishing 4/10 clear of his former Mercedes teammate, George Russell. His lap time of 1 minute 29.379 seconds not only eclipsed last year's best, but also sent a clear message to the competition. Hamilton is back, and he means business. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Hamilton's decision to leave Mercedes after 11 years shocked the F1 world. Even Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff seemed to take a dig at Hamilton. Toto Wolff hinted at this statement regarding Lewis Hamilton's departure from Mercedes when he said, "Everyone has a shelf life." Wolff later claimed the comment was taken out of context, but Hamilton didn't hold back in his response. As Hamilton responded, "Don't ever compare me to anybody else. I'm built different." This remark highlights Hamilton's deep belief in his unique abilities, work ethic, and mindset that have set him apart in the world of Formula One. As a 7-time world champion, he has consistently defied expectations, broken records, and redefined what it means to be an elite driver. His statement is not just about talent, it reflects the relentless drive, resilience, and determination that have propelled him to the top of the sport. And different he is. At 40, Hamilton is showing no signs of slowing down. In fact, he's even hinted that he could race until he's 50. As Hamilton said, "What I can tell you is, retirement is nowhere on my radar. I could be here until I'm 50, who knows?" This statement underscores his unwavering passion for racing and his commitment to staying in the sport for as long as he remains competitive. Despite being one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, Hamilton continues to push boundaries, striving for excellence and further cementing his legacy in motorsport. His words reflect not only his dedication to Formula One, but also his belief that age is not a limiting factor when it comes to elite performance. As he continues to compete at the highest level, Hamilton remains focused on winning more championships, breaking records, and inspiring the next generation of drivers. Whether he races into his 50s or not, one thing is certain: his influence on the sport will be felt for years to come. Could we see Hamilton break Michael Schumacher's record and claim an 8th world championship? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: Hamilton is as hungry as ever. Hamilton's decision to prioritize his career over personal relationships isn't new in the world of sports. Many athletes, from Tom Brady to LeBron James, have made similar sacrifices to stay at the top of their game. But what makes Hamilton's story unique is the context. As the only black driver in F1 history, Hamilton has faced immense pressure and scrutiny throughout his career. He's had to navigate a sport that hasn't always been welcoming to someone like him. And yet, he's risen above it all to become one of the greatest drivers of all time. But not everyone is convinced. Former F1 CEO Bernie Ecclestone recently claimed that Hamilton has a lot of enemies at Ferrari, and ex-F1 team owner Eddie Jordan called Ferrari's decision to replace Carlos Sainz with Hamilton suicidal. Fans, on the other hand, are buzzing with excitement. Social media is flooded with reactions to Hamilton's interview and his impressive testing performance. Many believe that this could be the start of a new era for Hamilton and Ferrari. As we count down to the start of the 2024 season, one thing is clear: Hamilton is ready to write the next chapter of his legendary career, and we can't wait to see what he achieves next. Lewis Hamilton has always been a driver who defies expectations, and his latest revelations only reinforce that. His decision to focus entirely on his racing career rather than personal relationships highlights the dedication and mindset that have made him one of the greatest in Formula One history. As he embarks on this new chapter with Ferrari, his hunger for victory remains as strong as ever. Whether he goes on to break records or face new challenges, one thing is certain:
Forza Ferrari!
Are you hiding? Are you coming out? I've been waiting for this day forever, so I'm really happy. I'm excited to meet everybody. Can't wait to start and get going. Oh, grazie. Christmas? Exactly. This is the one.
The Formula One world was stunned when Lewis Hamilton announced his move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. But now, Ferrari chairman John Elkann has come out swinging against critics who claim this partnership is nothing more than a marketing exercise. Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, sent shockwaves through the paddock when Ferrari announced on February 1st last year that he would be racing in the famous red in 2025. The impact was immediate, not just in racing circles, but on financial markets as well. But is Hamilton's move to Ferrari purely about boosting the Italian brand's market value, or is there a genuine sporting ambition at the heart of this partnership? Let's dive into what Ferrari's leadership is saying about these unfair claims. When Ferrari confirmed they'd signed Lewis Hamilton for 25, it wasn't just fans who took notice. The business world watched closely as one of sport's biggest names prepared to don the red suit. Hamilton will join Ferrari after 12 years with Mercedes, where he claimed 6 of his 7 world championships. His partnership with Charles Leclerc creates one of the most formidable driver lineups in recent F1 history. The move wasn't entirely unexpected for those paying attention. Despite signing what appeared to be a 2-year contract with Mercedes covering 2024 and 2025, it's now clear the second year was merely an option. Hamilton activated an exit clause, allowing him to make the switch to Maranello. For Carlos Sainz, the current Ferrari driver, this announcement meant finding a new home for 2025. The Spaniard has since signed with Williams, convinced by James Vowles' vision for the historic team. The financial impact of Hamilton's signing was dramatic and immediate. Ferrari's share price jumped significantly after the announcement, highlighting the commercial power of the Hamilton brand. Sports business expert Joe Pompliano reported Hamilton is signing with Ferrari and the stock is up 7% pre-market. The financials behind a move like this are fascinating. Former F1 driver Karun Chandhok put it into perspective, the power of the Lewis Hamilton brand. Ferrari's share price has jumped 6% today. On a market cap of $66 billion, his news is worth $4 billion. The numbers tell an impressive story. Having closed trading on January 31st with a share price of $346.78, Ferrari's stock rocketed to a high of $384 the next day as Hamilton's signing became public. Some reports suggest the company's market capitalization increased by as much as $10 billion following the announcement. Ferrari's current stock price is significantly higher than its 12-month low of $252.17, with the Hamilton announcement contributing to this upward trajectory. With such dramatic financial gains, it didn't take long for some observers to suggest Hamilton's signing was primarily a business decision rather than a sporting one. Former Ferrari driver Jackie Ickx was among those who framed the move in marketing terms, after Sky F1 commentator Martin Brundle remarked that Hamilton's signing was certainly worth it for Ferrari already. Ickx claimed Ferrari brought in the 7-time world champion probably for marketing reasons. Ickx said, "We have to remember that there are many important aspects to F1, and not just politics. There are also economics, marketing." These comments suggested Ferrari valued Hamilton more for his brand appeal than his racing abilities. For a team that hasn't won a Constructors' Championship since 2008, this characterization touched a nerve with Ferrari leadership. Ferrari chairman John Elkann didn't hold back when addressing these claims in an interview with Time magazine. Elkann stated, "I think it's really unfair to Lewis, some of the comments saying, 'This is a marketing operation.'" He then delivered a clear message about the priorities for both Hamilton and Ferrari. Truth said, Lewis doesn't need that. Ferrari doesn't need that. Elkann emphasized that the focus remains squarely on competitive success. What we need to do is win championships and do great things on the track. If that happens, what we can do outside of the track in some ways takes care of itself. The chairman's comments reflect Ferrari's hunger to return to the top of Formula One, suggesting they see Hamilton as a key piece in that sporting puzzle, not just a commercial asset. Elkann concluded with an optimistic view of the partnership's potential. There's unlimited possibilities. Elkann isn't alone in defending the sporting credentials of Hamilton's signing. Former Ferrari president Luca Di Montezemolo also pushed back against the marketing narrative. In recent years, Ferrari's problem had nothing to do with its drivers, Montezemolo told Radio GR Parlamento. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc are strong, and Lewis Hamilton is a phenomenon, as is Max Verstappen. Montezemolo reinforced the view that Hamilton's motivation is competitive, not commercial. His joining Ferrari is more than just a marketing plan, as he wants to end his career by still winning in the red. The former president acknowledged both the risk and potential in bringing Hamilton to Ferrari. The choice of Hamilton is, of course, a risk on the one hand, because you bring in a champion who has already won so much and wants to continue that at Ferrari. On the other hand, however, you have Leclerc, who has never won a title despite all kinds of good races. Montezemolo's analysis points to the sporting logic behind the decision, while recognizing the challenge of managing two top-tier drivers with championship ambitions. It's worth noting that Ferrari wasn't in need of a financial boost when they signed Hamilton. The company was already performing exceptionally well before the announcement. For the quarter before Hamilton's signing, Ferrari reported revenue of €1.52 billion or $1.65 billion, exceeding estimates of €1.5 billion. Sales jumped 11% from the previous year. Ferrari's 2023 net profit surged by an impressive 34%, topping €1 billion for the first time and reaching a record €1.257 billion, or $1.3 billion. CEO Benedetto Vigna celebrated these results. He said, "2023 was a very successful year, during which we strengthened our brand through a number of achievements reflected in our unprecedented financial results. From a deliveries standpoint, Ferrari shipped 13,663 cars in 2023, up 3% from the previous year, with deliveries to the Americas driving growth at 10.6%. The company's Purosangue SUV and hybrid sports cars like the 296 and SF90 were particularly successful. With such strong performance, it's clear Ferrari didn't need Hamilton simply for financial reasons. As Elkann stated, what they need is world titles. Lewis Hamilton brings unmatched credentials to Ferrari. With 7 world championships, tied with Michael Schumacher for the most in F1 history, and 103 Grand Prix victories, the most of any driver, his on-track achievements speak for themselves. Hamilton is also a commercial powerhouse. According to Forbes, he ranked 21st on their world's highest-paid athletes list in 2023, earning $55 million in salary plus $10 million in endorsements. His 2-year contract with Mercedes, signed in August before his Ferrari move, was reportedly worth over $120 million. Hamilton's profile has grown significantly through Netflix's Drive to Survive series, which has introduced F1 to new audiences worldwide. Hamilton himself had previously hinted at the appeal of Ferrari. "I'd be lying if I said I'd never thought about ending my career anywhere else," he told ESPN. "I thought about and watched the Ferrari drivers on the screens at the track. And of course you wonder what it would be like to be in red. But then I go to my team, to Mercedes, and this is my home. I'm happy where I am." Despite those earlier comments, Hamilton has now made the move that many F1 drivers dream of, joining the sport's most iconic team.